Let's be completely honest for a second. Dropping $1,200 to $1,500 on a new set of tires is physically painful. You want your truck or SUV to look aggressive, you want it to handle off-road trails on the weekends, and you absolutely need it to keep you safe in the rain and snow. But in 2026, the price of premium off-road tires has skyrocketed to the point where it feels like you need a second mortgage just to reshoe your rig. But what if I told you that you don't have to empty your bank account to get top-tier performance? What if I told you that you can get absolute off-road beasts for under $200 a tire? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are breaking down the 5 best budget beast all-terrain tires of 2026, all coming in at under $200 for standard truck and SUV sizes. I have spent countless hours researching, testing, and agonizing over this list to bring you tires that don't just survive the elements, they absolutely dominate them. And you are going to want to stick around for the number 1 spot. The tire sitting at the top of this list legitimately outperforms models that cost nearly twice as much. In fact, it completely saved my rear end on a treacherous, ice-covered mountain pass last winter, and I will never build an overlanding rig without it again. Quick heads up before we dive in. Tire pricing fluctuates slightly based on your exact wheel size, but for your standard 15, 16, and 17-inch rims, every single tire on this list hits that magical sub-$200 sweet spot. I've done the heavy lifting for you and put the links to the best current prices for all of these tires down in the description below, so you can check them out and see exactly what fits your vehicle. Alright, let's stop wasting time and get into the rubber. Kicking off our list at number 5 is the Kumho Roadventure AT52. Let me start by saying this tire is the ultimate underdog of the all-terrain world. Kumho isn't always the first brand that comes to mind when you think of rugged, go-anywhere truck tires, but the AT52 is a massive wake-up call to the industry. I remember a couple of years ago, I needed a quick, cheap replacement set for an old Project Tacoma before a long hunting trip. I didn't want to spend much, so I slapped a set of these on, expecting absolute mediocrity. Boy, was I wrong. The Roadventure AT52 features a high-void tread pattern and a deep, aggressive shoulder design that absolutely eats up loose dirt, gravel, and light mud. But here's the real kicker. It features a high-density, dual silica compound that gives it incredible cold-weather traction. Yes, this budget-friendly tire is branded with the 3-peak mountain snowflake symbol, meaning it is certified for severe snow conditions. For a tire under $200, that is a massive selling point. Let's talk about the pros. The off-road bite is fantastic for the price point, the snow traction is surprisingly confident, and the treadwear has proven to be incredibly resilient against chipping and tearing on sharp rocks. It features rugged tie bars between the tread blocks which stabilizes them, giving you a remarkably stable feeling when towing or carrying a heavy load in the bed. However, it lands at number 5 for a couple of reasons. First, the cons. While it starts off whisper quiet, I have noticed that as this tire wears past the 20,000-mile mark, it starts to develop a noticeable hum at highway speeds. It's nothing that will drown out your radio, but it's definitely there. Furthermore, while the sidewall is tough, it lacks the ultra-aggressive, chunky aesthetic that some truck guys are really looking for. Who is this for? This is the perfect tire for the weekend warrior who needs dependable traction for dirt trails and snowy commutes, but is on a strict budget. It's reliable, capable, and cheap. But if you spend a lot more time on the highway and hate road noise, you are going to love what we have at number 4. Coming in hot at number 4 is the Hankook Dynapro AT2 Xtreme. If the Kumho we just talked about is the gritty, blue-collar worker of the dirt, the Hankook is the refined, smooth-talking commuter that still knows how to throw a punch when it needs to. Hankook completely redesigned their Dynapro line recently to give us the Xtreme version, and the main goal was to provide an all-terrain tire that rides like a luxury touring tire on the pavement. I took a set of these on an 800-mile interstate road trip down the coast, and I can honestly tell you I completely forgot I was rolling on all-terrain tires. They are incredibly quiet. How did they do it? Hankook utilized a specialized noise-canceling block pitch technology in the tread design. Basically, they engineered the size and placement of the rubber blocks to disrupt sound waves before they ever reach the cabin of your truck. But don't let the quiet ride fool you. The Xtreme in the name comes from the deeper multi-directional grooves and biting edges that give it a serious advantage in sand and loose gravel. The pros of the Dynapro AT2 Xtreme are impossible to ignore. The highway comfort is best in class at this price point. It boasts an absolutely massive 60,000 to 70,000 mile treadwear warranty depending on the size, which means you are getting an insane return on your investment. It's also incredibly fuel efficient because of its low rolling resistance compound, saving you even more money at the pump. But we have to talk about the cons. To get that incredibly smooth highway ride, Hankook had to pack the tread blocks relatively close together. Because of this, it struggles in deep, goopy mud. The tread tends to pack up with thick mud rather quickly, turning your all-terrain into a racing slick if you get stuck in the swamps. The target audience for this tire is the daily driver. If your truck or SUV spends 80% of its life on the pavement doing the daily commute, dropping the kids off, or towing a boat on the highway, but you still need that rugged look and weekend dirt road capability, this is your tire. But what if you live somewhere where the weather is constantly trying to kill you? Our number 3 pick is the absolute king of surviving the storm. At number 3, we have the legendary Cooper Discoverer AT3 4S. Let me tell you right now, if you live in a climate that gets hit with torrential downpours, black ice, and heavy snow, this is the tire you want keeping you on the road. Let me share a quick story. 2 years ago, I was driving through a massive, unexpected monsoon-style rainstorm on the highway. Visibility was practically zero, and cars were hydroplaning and sliding off into the ditch left and right. My heart was in my throat, but my truck, equipped with the Discoverer AT3 4S, felt like it was glued to the asphalt. It was genuinely one of the most confidence-inspiring drives of my life. The secret sauce behind this tire is Cooper's adaptive traction technology. The tread features these deep, wide aquavac channels that evacuate water out from under the tire at an incredible rate, making hydroplaning virtually impossible under normal speeds. On top of that, it has highly specialized sawtooth technology in the tread grooves. These literal zigzag patterns are designed to trap snow inside the tire. That might sound crazy, but snow actually grips snow better than rubber grips snow. By trapping it, the tire uses the snow against itself, giving you phenomenal winter traction. Naturally, it also boasts the 3-peak mountain snowflake rating. The pros are overwhelmingly in favor of safety and wet weather performance. It provides one of the safest drives you can buy for under $200. The tread compound is also heavily infused with silica, meaning it stays pliable and soft even when the temperature drops well below freezing. So, what are the cons? Why is it only number 3? To put it simply, the aesthetics. The Cooper Discoverer AT3 4S has a very traditional, almost tame sidewall. If you are lifting your truck or Bronco and want it to look like a menacing, post-apocalyptic war rig, these tires are going to look a bit too much like a standard street tire. They don't have those massive, aggressive shoulder lugs that scream off-road beast. If you want the ultimate wet weather daily driver and don't care about having the most aggressive-looking tire at the car meet, get the Cooper. But if you want a tire that actually looks and performs like a mud terrain, while keeping the manners of an all-terrain, our runner-up is going to blow your mind. Taking the silver medal at number 2 is the absolutely ferocious Grabber ATX. Let's get straight to the point. This is the most aggressive-looking, off-road capable tire on this entire list. If you saw this tire sitting on a rack, you would swear it was a $300 mud terrain tire, but miraculously, it sneaks right under our budget limit. If you are the type of driver who spends your weekends rock crawling, blasting through deep muddy ruts, or exploring unmaintained Forest Service roads, the Grabber ATX is the tire you have been dreaming of. General built this thing with their proprietary Duragen technology. What does that mean? It means the internal structure of the tire is reinforced with ultra-high-strength steel belts and a robust microfiber casing. It is highly resistant to punctures, cuts, and chips from jagged rocks. I took a set of these out to a rocky trail in Moab, and I was intentionally dropping tire pressures down to about 15 psi to see how they handled the abuse. They wrapped around rocks like a gecko, and the massive, alternating shoulder scoops dug into the dirt walls of the trail to pull the vehicle forward when the center tread started to slip. Furthermore, they are actually pinned for winter studs, meaning if you live in the frozen north, you can literally turn these into spiked ice crawlers. The pros are staggering. Unbeatable off-road traction for the price, an incredibly aggressive aesthetic that completely transforms the look of your vehicle, and a surprisingly comfortable ride thanks to a sound-absorbing cushion layer hidden inside the tire's construction. But it has one major flaw that kept it out of the number 1 spot: the weight. Because this tire is built like an absolute tank with heavy-duty sidewalls and massive rubber blocks, it is heavy. When you bolt 4 of these onto your vehicle, you are increasing your unsprung mass significantly. You are going to feel a slight sluggishness off the starting line, and you can expect your fuel economy to drop by about 1 to 2 miles per gallon. Over the lifespan of the tire, that extra gas money adds up. It is an incredibly tough, capable off-road beast. But the number 1 tire on our list manages to capture almost all of this rugged off-road capability without destroying your gas mileage, and it does it with even better everyday manners. Are you ready for the undisputed king? Here we are. The grand reveal. The absolute, Undisputed king of the budget beast all-terrain tires for 2026 is the Falken Wildpeak AT4W. Let me be perfectly clear. This is just the best budget tire on the market. It is arguably one of the best all-terrain tires on the planet, actively beating out premium options from BF Goodrich and Michelin that cost substantially more. Falken took their already legendary AT3W, a tire that practically owned the market for years, and somehow made it significantly better. Earlier, I told you about a tire that saved my life on an icy mountain pass. This was it. I was navigating a steep, winding, unplowed mountain road with sheer drops on one side. The temperature was in the single digits. Vehicles were chained up or turning around. The Falken Wildpeak AT4W dug into the packed snow and ice with such ferocity that my truck never lost traction once. I didn't even have to air down. So why is this tire the absolute winner? It all comes down to the perfect balance of engineering. Falken introduced a brand new rubber compound for the AT4W that improves wet traction and tread life without sacrificing off-road grip. The sidewall features heavily staggered, rugged shoulder blocks that not only look incredibly aggressive, giving your truck that perfect lifted stance, but they also provide immense lateral traction when you are deep in the mud or airing down for rocks. Inside the tire, Falken uses their patented heat diffuser technology in the lower sidewall. When you are carrying a heavy load or towing a trailer, tires build up heat, which can lead to blowouts or rapid wear. The Wildpeak physically dissipates this heat, keeping the tire cool even under extreme stress. The pros are virtually endless. You get class-leading wet and snow traction with the 3-peak mountain snowflake rating. You get a wildly aggressive sidewall that looks fantastic. You get a heavy-duty, reinforced casing that resists punctures. And despite all of this aggressive tread, it is whisper quiet on the highway and doesn't absolutely tank your fuel economy like the general Grabber does. To top it all off, Falken backs it with up to a 65,000-mile warranty. What are the cons? Honestly, the only negative is that they are so popular right now. Occasionally, they go out of stock in highly specific sizes. But if you can find them in your size, buy them immediately. The Falken Wildpeak AT4W is the ultimate do-it-all tire. It commutes perfectly, it tows brilliantly, it conquers the snow effortlessly, and it tears up the trails on the weekends. It punches way out of its weight class, giving you top-tier premium performance for well under $200 a tire. It is the reigning champion, plain and simple. So there you have it, the 5 best budget beast all-terrain tires of 2026. You really don't have to spend a fortune to completely transform the capability and the look of your truck or SUV. Now, I want to hear from you. Are you leaning towards the ultra-quiet highway comfort of the Hankook Dynapro, the aggressive mud-terrain look of the general Grabber, or are you going straight for the ultimate all-around champion, the Falken Wildpeak AT4W? Let me know which one you are choosing in the comments down below. I read and reply to as many as I can. Remember, tire prices fluctuate, so I have done the hard work for you and placed links to the absolute best current prices for every single tire we talked about today right down in the description. Links below. Click those links to see exactly what fits your rig and how much you can save today. If this video helped you save some money and find the perfect tire, please do me a huge favor and smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more no-nonsense, real-world automotive reviews. Until next time, stay safe out there on the trails and I will see you in the next video.